going on, everybody? This is Mr. Book. I was going to do this video earlier with just a hat. I'm like, man, if I'm going to do a video about greasers and stuff, that I should definitely be rocking a pompadour. So today's video is about what it's like being Navajo and being a greaser. So real quick, I am Navajo. I am Diné. I am also part of the rockabilly culture here in Tucson. There's not many people in Tucson that still do the culture. It's there, it's kind of coming back, but the rockabilly scene needs to be a lot bigger. I'm trying to do my best to bring it back. As one person, I can only do so much. So I do have a new rockabilly or psychobilly group coming out called Gatos Muertos, and this is actually the studio where we're recording. This is my home studio, and we've got some jams on YouTube during my video if you want to check them out. You know, I'm one of the DJs over at Downtown Radio, Tucson. It's 99.1 KTDT, and I host Book's Rockabilly Rumble on there. I have just finished my second show, and every Sundays 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Check it out. If you're not in the Tucson area, just go online. And we do have the stream. I'm not exactly sure that I can make podcasts of what I do there. But if I do get a lot of requests to do it, then I might. But I do know that Tom Ingram is the main dude that has his own show, Tom Ingram's Rockabilly Radio. And shout outs to Tom. And I'm really, really looking forward to Viva Las Vegas. Another reason why I need to do this video, because I want to get at least some people knowing that I am going to be there, and you should come hang out with me and all the things. Aside from Tucson's rockabilly culture not necessarily being as prominent as it used to be, being Native American and part of the rockabilly scene is even more of a rarity. Now, there are a few people out there. There are bands like SOL from Gallup. The Blissons have a psychobilly root, like a groove going on there. I feel like the rockabilly idea is growing in our culture a little bit. The Bluebird pinups out in Winter Rock, you know, they're doing their thing as well. I encourage it. If it's something that you like, that you feel a kinship with, then you should just try it out. I'm always willing to answer any questions too, dealing with that. If you guys have any, just hit me up, you know, comment and let me know. How I got into it was, a lot of natives can probably relate to the idea of living on the reservation and having to work on your old rides all the time. My grandparents on both sides both had old cars, and we had to use them to just get water. There's no running water out there. And not just that, like, it's still a thing where there's contaminated water, or there's just dried up wells out there now. And so people have to drive sometimes 2 hours just to go get, you know, water. So coming from that old school scene of, like, you know, cars and stuff, that is where I learned how to work on cars, helping my grandparents and my parents with their vehicles. The music, at least for Navajo reservation, I can't speak for any of the other ones, although we all have similarities, which is cool when we all get together and like a powwow or something, and everybody's like, they got their sayings, you know, and it's we all have that kind of relations like that. But for Navajos, and I want to say like Northern Arizona natives, we have old school like honky tonk country bands, a lot of cover bands. I played in one, the Night Breeze band. I played guitar for the Night Breeze band back when my father was the drummer. And I would just, you know, I would drive down there and I would just kind of fiddle around on the guitar, but wasn't like I was just trying to add to their thing. But I was never really officially a member. I just kind of jammed with them. Anyway, so the honky tonk the country, there was, there's always like Johnny Cash in the mix, or maybe Elvis, or old classics, and we would all learn those songs. My high school, I was in a small town, so everybody has their groups, but it wasn't like those like high school teen movies that you see now where nerds are ragging on jocks or jocks are ragging on like there wasn't a conflict of that. It was more like everybody was pretty chill, but everybody just was not cool with the teachers. But there were some terrible ones. Like I once got called out of class because they were like, "Oh, we smelled alcohol on you when you walked by," and I'm like 14, man. I'm still trying to like learn how to talk to girls and cover my face because it's like Pimpletown 5000. Like I don't want to drink and make it worse. We all resisted against the man. For the Navajos and the Hopis that had to come to our school, everybody stayed in dorms. We all kind of dressed similarly, Dickies clothes, not really Converse shoes, but shoes, decent shoes. Did up their hairs, Ray-Bans. So they weren't necessarily rockabilly, but they had a similar look. And I assimilated that once I left town and graduated. And the music came from my grandparents. My grandmother and my mother are huge into Elvis. KTNN radio used to play a lot more rockabilly back in the day, and that's kind of like the AM station for Navajo Nation. So they do play a lot of old country, a lot of Waylon, a lot of stuff, and a lot of that music kind of just stuck with me because my dad would jam it out and I would be down. But I never really got into the rockabilly culture until I came back from North Carolina. So there was a moment in my life where I kind of decided to make a huge change and risked everything to go. And I went to Wilmington, North Carolina. I've learned about the culture there. There was a car club there. I don't remember the car club name, but they were really cool guys, and I hung out with them a few times. First guys I ever seen wearing pompadours. First guys I ever seen cuffing their jeans and talking old slang, and all their girlfriends and wives were all like just nice hair, dresses, and I was like, man. And that was the first time I felt like, in my whole life up to that point, it was the first time I felt like I belonged to something, and I got really excited about it. But I was at that time very not ready for it. Like I was going through personal changes, no self-confidence, So when I moved here to Tucson, I found the rockabilly scene, came across it. My buddy Marty Muerto, he was one who was like tattoos on his neck, hair's all did up, very adorable. If you ever meet Marty, he's super adorable. He's basically a younger, just as cute Robert Downey Jr. That's looking at you, Marty. But he introduced me to his family, and he introduced me to the Muertos, which is the crew down here. And they brought me in. I started to dress more rockabilly. I started to buy steady clothing shirts, Levi's. I never ever wore jeans in my entire life until then, and that was like 2012. And I was like, man, this is weird, But then I was like, yeah, because when I put it on, when I do my hair, got my glasses, my bandana, when everything's there, it's just like this enhancement of like confidence, and I feel I can do anything. And when I go out there and I meet my bros, same thing. It's just we're all together, we all fit into a place where we didn't feel like we fit in before. And I knew that I was searching this whole time, maybe something that made me happy, something that gave me confidence and a sense of family. I love my family. Muertos is my second family. So that's how I got into it, and that's how it was influenced by just being Native American, Navajo, at least for me. And then just the rockabilly culture and Navajo culture, we have a natural resistance to authority. You know, old school rockabilly guys didn't want to be told what to do. We still dress how we want to dress. We still listen to music we want to listen to, and drink shitty beer, and you know, we have the attitude, and we have, you know, if you don't like it, get out. And for Native Americans, because we deal with like racism every day and all that stuff, and just the history, the hundreds of years of history of like the U.S. government coming, taking over, you know, our land and confining us and telling us we can't do our own culture, or we can't learn our own language, and cutting our hair off and putting us in dormitories, and, you know, trying to spoon feed all this Christianity on us. You know, that wasn't us. That's not us. For me, being Native and being rockabilly, it's a double whammy, man. Like, we got to be even more resistant, and we just got to stand up even further than we would be before. If I'm this tall, now that I'm a greaser, my hair is just like that a little bit better. That's the little extra I got to stand up to the man and be like, I'm going to listen to the music I want to. I'm going to practice my traditional ways, my Navajo ways. I'm going to speak my language, and I'm going to play awesome music and drive around in a really awesome car. But anyways, thanks for checking me out, man. Make sure to follow me, and there'll be more stuff about everything coming up for Viva. Like, I got to do a lot of stuff for Viva, so hope to see you guys out there. Peace. Did I just do that? Hey!